What's up, Dice Crew? Now, I'm sure by now everybody has caught some type of, snippet or clip or video pertaining to Lefty Gunplay and WACK 100. We dropped a video yesterday reacting to Compton Rick Rock speaking on the situation. And now we got Dubs, Hispanic, Southsider, weighing in on that situation. So let's tune in to see what all Dubs got to say. I'm going to keep it a Benji for y'all doing the reaction. Y'all keep it a Benji for me in the comments. Let's rock.
I wanna talk about the WACK thing, some stuff that was said about WACK. First off, I want to say the podcast that he was on. I don't want to say the name of the podcast. The podcast that he was on, I was happy to hear them say that out of anyone, WACK is the least person that you should want to fuck yours off over, the least. And so I applaud everybody that was there. The other three was Lefty and three other people. All other three said he ain't worth that. Not throwing everything away. But Lefty feels how he feels disrespected. I get feeling disrespected almost. I get wanting to it when you're still in that mentality. I get wanting to get with this program, right? But here's the thing I don't get. When Lefty says, get your hood involved, and let's get all of my barrio involved with all of your hood. Two different valleys, never gonna see each other but in jail or at concerts. I hope you realize, Lefty, that WACK isn't accepted in his hood. I've talked to OGs from his hood. They don't like him.
Now, like I always say, you could communicate with somebody who's from somebody else's hood, but everybody got somebody who possibly dislikes them from their hood, whether it's a real reason or if it's just something that's, personally that suits them, right? But out of Dub's own mouth, he said that they don't like him. So is he really not accepted, or they just dislike him? Dubs can be telling the truth, or he can be telling the fact, something that's false. Me myself, I don't know what the truth is, but I feel like it's a repetitive thing on this internet with people speaking on other people's hood and their status in their hood. Like I say all the time, you would probably have to see a video of someone getting removed from their hood, pushed out of their hood, to really know that they're not accepted. I'm sure, I'm not saying everybody would have somebody say that they're not accepted in their hood, but I just feel like sometimes we can't just take one person or maybe a couple people words pertaining to a whole situation. Because if WACK show up tomorrow and participate or show up and be in his hood, would that make Dubs out to be a liar? It could be that, But that's why I say, like, if we gonna speak on certain things, it's always better to just speak on certain things that we can honestly know for a fact. You know what I mean? But let's continue.
They don't respect him. But here you are disrespecting those men who don't respect the guy that disrespected you.
Now, I get what Dubs is saying, right? And even though he's delivering it in a different way, he's pretty much pushing the same type of, knowledge that I be kicking out. Like, Lefty, you're offending and disrespecting a group of individuals who don't even rock with WACK 100. So you really didn't do no damage towards WACK by saying that, but you also got on the wrong side of some individuals who's not even rocking with WACK 100. So you really didn't have to disrespect us. You could have just disrespected WACK, and that would have been that. But you disrespecting us as opposed of us rocking with WACK or us having WACK back and we don't. I'm not saying what's true or what's false, but I'm just saying this is the deliverance that Dubs is breaking down from what I gather.
And this isn't. Hopefully, no one's trying to take it back to the '90s, where it is about color, and people lose their lives over the color of their skin, their ethnicity. I don't want to see it go back to that. You know why? WACK's never gonna get touched. WACK's not gonna go where there's danger.
Now this is the thing that is kind of crazy, right? Like Dub said that he hopes that thing doesn't go back to the 90s where people die over color, right? And I assume he means like the color of your skin, right? But he opened up this whole video by saying that they were from two different places. And he also said that Lefty Gunplay said, you get your hood involved and I'll get my hood involved. So a hood versus hood situation doesn't necessarily have anything to do with a race or skin color situation. But I always understand that coming from a Hispanic because that's just how they are driven, Everything is always, race first for the most part before the whole hood situation. Not saying that Hispanics hoods don't beef with other Hispanic hoods, but I just feel like you got to be careful on how you deliver things if you are hoping for something not to take place. Like it's a WACK 100 hood versus Lefty Gunplay hood situation. It's not a Mexican versus blood situation. So even if a situation spills out to the streets, it's going to be, and it's a possibility that things can always escalate to elevate to a bigger issue. I'm not saying, what Dubs is saying don't have no level of substance, because it can be a possibility. But at this moment, it's nothing about a black or Mexican issue, at least to me. You know what I'm saying? Other than Lefty being Mexican and WACK 100 being black. But for the most part, it's just a hood versus hood situation.
He's a multi-millionaire. Why you think he said, I work at No Jumper on these days? You know how many cameras are there? Armed security are there? And a defense if he does wind up pulling something out and using it? He still do time. He's an ex-con. He would be an ex-con with a weapon, right? But he wouldn't get all day. You would. Whoever pulled up with you would. And there's something else that I want to remind Lefty Gunplay about, and I want to remind everyone about. Prison is full, and Lefty, you've been there. Prison is full of dudes who got told on by their homeboys. The ones that they were like, that about the solid, Holmes. I can do hot ones with this cat. Sure, you can do the hot ones. But can he do the time? Doing the hot one is the easy part.
And you know what? Dubs is absolutely correct. And I hope everybody that's participating in the streets or, trying to be a part of the streets, take that advice, because that is true. And I preach that all the time. Like, it's never about being willing to do the action. It's about, would you be willing to deal with the consequence if things go south, if things go left? That's what matters. It doesn't matter about a person willing to be a part of the action. That part, for the most part, is the easier part. I'm not going to necessarily say that it's fully easy, like it's not totally easy, but it is the easier part. You know what I'm saying? Now, the consequences, on the other hand, is very much more difficult. And what Dubs just said was very something that was good to say, that I feel like a lot of people need to hear.
is keeping your mouth shut when you're looking at doing all day or the death penalty. Then people start, oh, whoa, what do you mean? And a lot of times it's the ones putting in the most work that are the least willing to do that time.
And you know, I got to use this as an example, right? Because Dub just said that's a lot of times it be the people that's willing to put in the most work that want to do no time, right? And look at look at the Sammy the Bull situation. He confessed to about 19 murders. So if he got, he participated in 19 murders. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he was the one that pulled the trigger. I think I watched the interviews where he was just saying he had participated in them, right? In some type of way or whatever the case may be. So let's just say Sammy the Bull. You will look at a person like, if you willing to participate in 19 murders, you are somebody that's probably solid as a rock, right? But when situations was presented and it was time to face these consequences for things that he was involved in, you know, the lifestyle that he had chose to participate in and be a part of and be involved in, he definitely rolled over, cooperated, and, you know, brought down young John Gotti, brought down multiple other individuals, right? But when you got a person that's participating in 19 murders, that will pretty much put Sammy the Bull at the top tier of being one of the people who loves to participate in putting in work. But was he trying to sit down and really follow those codes and those rules that was pushed in the guidelines of the lifestyle that he signed up for? No, he didn't want to participate in facing those consequences. So people better learn that images, illusions, and what things seem to be ain't always what it actually is. You have to judge a person by a different standard. Like I always say, everybody dangerous is not solid. You know what I'm saying? And everybody that's solid don't necessarily have to be dangerous. But you just got to see it for what it actually is. Not saying that anybody can be a sidekick, but you just can't be so fooled with the charades. You know what I mean?
I think it was a bad look. Hopefully, back channels can be used where it's understood. Like, hey, Holmes, you know what? My bad. I shouldn't have got it. I got at the situation or responded to the situation in this way. Knowing homies the way I know, he's not gonna want to do that. Lefty's gonna be like, I said what I said, Holmes, and if it's wrong, then I'm gonna take the consequences. But like I said, I've talked to a couple OGs, WACK OG, dudes older than him from that neighborhood, Como Pyrus. And they've expressed a lot of respect towards the raza and didn't have any respect towards WACK and the words they were using. And I think...
And you know, I want to say this, right? That WACK100 have said certain things on the internet or associated itself with certain people on the internet, participated with certain things on the internet that anyone that's dealing with a street mentality would definitely be against, right? So I'm not surprised if it is certain people from Wax Hood who do not agree with some of the things or certain things that WACK100 have participated in online, right? I definitely can get that. It's people all around the streets who don't find what WACK do something that they agree with. But one thing people have to identify with and do know, because some people might not know, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it do be certain real people that are in good standards, and they definitely hold themselves to a good standard. And, you know, they are some bodies in they hoods, but they definitely associate and rock with WACK100. Now, you know, I'm not in the inner works of those relationships. I don't know what they're based upon. I don't know where the, you know, everything come in to par at. But if you privy to certain individuals, you would definitely know that it is some people that get high respect in the streets or just decent amount of respect and they don't, have no smut on their images or their names, but they do rock and associate with WACK 100. So even if you're gonna give a person advice, you gotta just keep it all the way at Benji, so you don't just have a person walking into a blind situation. You might feel like Wack is, a sucker. He might be soft. You might feel like he's afraid. You can feel all that, but also do your research deeper than just saying that you talk to a couple people from his hood, because he had people that do be serious individuals that be from other hoods that do rock with him.
It's unfortunate that that neighborhood gets a bad look because of WACK 100. WACK is not hanging out in that hood. For one, he's a millionaire. Two, he's got too many enemies there. He stays where he knows he can, and he's making money doing it. Here we go again. I'm saying his name. That's money in the bank for him. Lefty and everyone on the podcast said his name. More money in the bank for him. I said in a video the other day, Lefty, that, and I don't expect you to watch all my videos, and, you watch what you watch, but every time he mentions your name, that's money in your bank. Let him keep saying your name. Stay quiet. Stay grinding. Stay in the lab. Stay making music. And if you come across him, whatever happens, happens. You guys both have said that something's going to happen, and the authorities are waiting and watching. And like I said, someone that is going to participate, if something happens on either side, I don't know who it's going to be, someone is going to be an active participant as well as an active cooperating, whatever they call them. They will assist the authorities because they don't want to do the time, especially nowadays. Nowadays, they are not trying to do time. It's not the 80s. It's not the 90s. People are quick to pull a gun out and then quick to run their mouth. It's the way it is now. The way it's been for a little while. I would hate to see Lefty Gunplay throw it away for someone who is the number one when it comes to generating a buzz around. WACK 100 is not a rapper. WACK 100 is not an actor. WACK 100 is not a singer. And I just said his name 3 times in a row right now. WACK 100 is more famous than Lefty Gunplay. For what? Because he knows how to keep his name out there, man. In some circles, he's the new Suge Knight. To the streets, he's not. But to some circles, like people like Adam, people like Vlad, record executives, he's the boogeyman. Because street dudes keep talking about him. Like, whoa, he must be serious. Look at all these street dudes that keep talking about him. Stop saying his name. That's a slow death for him. He'll crash out if people stop saying his name. But anyways, I get it as far as the raza are getting very tired of WACK 100 talking about him.
And I want to say this, right? If Lefty Gunplay feel disrespected, then he definitely has the right to respond and carry himself however he wants to. Don't necessarily mean that how he goes about it is the right way to go about it, but you can never tell someone how to respond or react to feeling offended or disrespected. You feel me? But I always put that out there just because we have to learn from everything that's going on these internets and stuff like that too. It's not to just be biased. It's not to just give out, a one-way opinion, but got to give out multiple point of views so people can possibly understand it and learn something.
But it shouldn't be the I don't know. My 2 cents on stay quiet, stay focused, stay getting your bag, stay getting your grind on. You're never going to see him. You're never going to run into him. He's going to make sure that, and hopefully people in your circle make sure of it as well. Because it could get ugly. And as long as WACK is able to talk, he will spin the narrative his way because he's got more connections to bigger platforms to tell the story his way, and it'll be accepted as that. With that said, everybody please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man.